Hi.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Francisca Iris. I'm an innovation manager at ESA Space Solution Portugal, hosted at IPN. We're based in Coimbra. And today, me and my colleague Alexandra Almeida, we will talk with you about the power of space technology to boost your business. So, oh, sorry, my presentation is running. It's alive. It's really live. Okay. Okay, stopped here. So ESA. So ESA stands for European Space Agency, which is Europe's gateway to space. So ESA is an international agency composed by 22 member states. And as such, all citizens from these 22 member states are all part of it. And the main mission of ESA is to explore and use everything that space is enabling us exclusively for peaceful purposes. So yearly, ESA receives a very significant budget, as you can see on the screen, and this budget is used, again, my presentation is live, this budget is used to finance a bunch of different activities. So these activities are spread through space science and exploration, so going to the moon, to Mars, also to human space flights, so to develop technology and enable that astronauts are aboard the International Space Station, to explore other planets, to study the universe, but also this budget is used for Earth observation and to everything else that is related to satellites. So from conceptualizing a satellite into building it, launching it, operating the satellite, as well as to use and foster the use of the data that these satellites enable citizens here on Earth. So as you can see there's a lot of technology being developed through ESA. So and to foster the use of these different types of space technology, as you can see on the blue circles on the screen, we can, let's say, categorize space technology in 5 different blocks. So there's space technology, so every material and process that is used to enable the launching of anything from a satellite to an astronaut. To Earth observation, we can talk about satellite navigation, which is supporting our navigation and positioning within Earth. Satellite communication, which is a resilient way of communicating wherever you are in the world, to human spaceflight technology. So all the technologies that are used in missions that have men, women on board. And all these different technologies, they can be used on Earth. So everything that we use nowadays, all the application services and a lot of the products that we use on a daily basis, from maritime services to transport, environment, even healthcare, there are tons of different applications for this space technology. So ESA wants us, European citizens, to use this technology. So to use this technology, ESA has placed a network that it's called ESA Near You. So it's a network of partners from ESA spread through Europe that are fostering in the respective countries the use of this technology. There are different types of ESA Near You partners, let's put it this way. So we have ESA Business Incubation Center, so you have BIC on the screen. These entities are entities such as IPN, so we support startups up to 5 years old to use, my screen is going live. My Business Incubation Center supports startups up to 5 years old. We support them in commercial efforts, in developing their business case, but also, and very relevant, we support them financially. So we give 50K for the prototype development of these startups. And then the second type of partners that already appeared on the screen, the innovation partners. So in the past, we used to call these partners technology transfer brokers. Sorry, but my screen is, it has live. So the innovation partners in the middle are technology transfer brokers. So what brokers do, they on one side try to identify and map all the space technology that is developed within each different country. Then on the other side, we map all the needs that any sector on Earth might have. So a missing technology, something that it's not working properly and should be improved. And we try to promote the match, going back. And then finally, the third type of partners, which is the business application ambassadors. It's similar to the big. The difference is that ambassadors, so from the business application sector, ambassadors support not just startups, but also corporate companies, research institutes, any type of national entity that might be able to apply to ESA funding opportunities. So now, as you can see on the map, so there are several ESA near you spots in Europe, different types as we spoke previously, so different types of ESA near you partners. And in Portugal, you see the three different colors. So it's us, IPN, Instituto Pedro Nunes. We are a space solution center. So it means that we have the three different initiatives. So within a single team, we have a business incubation, innovation partners, and ambassador platform, so that any Portuguese citizen that is willing to know more or has any doubt about how to profit from ESA opportunities, they can contact us, IPN, and then depending on the needs, we will fine-tune the support that the company might receive. So I think it should be clear now that definitely ESA has a plan for SMEs. And one of the things that ESA has in place is an initiative called SMEs Initiative. So this is a set of measures that ESA created to support small companies that want to engage within space or downstream activities. And some of the initiatives are training courses. So you can see on the screen that there are training courses exclusively for SMEs. You have in every 22 member states a help desk, so someone speaking your language to support you within ESA information. And as an SME, you can have an advance payment on all ESA contracts, so that ESA understand that SMEs, sometimes they need positive cash flow more than big corporate companies. So they are willing to support SMEs giving money in advance so that you can profit and explore as much as possible all the funding opportunities that ESA has centralized within that. So funding opportunities that you will contractually bind yourself with ESA, and other funding opportunities that it's us, IPN, in this case in Portugal, coordinating and managing. So contact us, space@ipn.pt, if you have any doubt about ESA. So now you can see that what about Earth observation data? So we started the presentation with a brief overview of the different types of space technology. It will be a super huge presentation and talk to present you different examples of different types of space technology. So we decided to focus on a single type, Earth observation. So what's Earth observation? Earth observation is all the data that satellites make available from the space down to Earth. So kind of pictures, super high quality pictures that satellites make available. The Copernicus program, it's an European program composed by a family of satellites. Each satellite from the Copernicus program is called a Sentinel, and these different Sentinels have different scientific instruments. So it's like you have different cameras with different filters. Let's put the comparison like this. They are all orbiting around Earth, and this public set of satellites make free Earth observation data available to everyone. And this Earth observation data from the Copernicus program can be used in climate, maritime applications, atmosphere monitoring, land security, and even emergency management. So now I'm going to be very brief, otherwise this would be super technical and boring, but just for you to know the different types of data that you can get from. Once again, I'm just focusing on the Copernicus program. So you have Aeolus, which is a satellite fully dedicated to study the wind. So anything that you might consider to know about the wind, Aeolus is providing data to improve the weather forecasts or any other application that may depend on the weather, temperature, let's say, combined with wind profiles. Then you have here Sentinel-5 and Sentinel-4. These two satellites, they have different instruments. They are both optical instruments, like optical cameras, super high quality cameras, and they both detect and monitor different types of atmospheric data. So on one side, from Sentinel-5, you have daily coverage. Sentinel-4, you have hourly coverage. So you combining the two different types of data, you can have a really nice, high quality monitoring of atmosphere. So aerosols, gases, as well as other particles that might have an influence on the atmosphere, which may relate to healthcare, pollution, whatever application that you might come up. And then you have here three other elements from this big family, the Copernicus family. Sentinel-3, it's a satellite which has two different instruments, which means that having an optical and a radar instrument, it provides users with optical data and radar data. So really brief difference between optical and radar. Optical images are like, let's say, our usual cameras. So if it's dark or if it's cloudy, you will not see. If it's a radar image, let's say if it's a radar camera, you will be able to see through clouds, and even if it's night, the radar will penetrate the clouds, so you will always be able to have data about, in this case, Sentinel-3, maritime data. So the sea surface topography, the temperature of the water, how's the land color and the ocean characteristics of the water, everything that relates to the sea. Then Sentinel-2 and Sentinel-1, they have, again, two instruments. Sentinel-2 has two optical instruments exclusively for land purposes. So if you're willing to trace anything related to vegetation, soil, or water cover within land, okay, when we say water cover within land, we refer to rivers, to water bodies, not to the ocean, but to water bodies within land. Sorry, I don't know what's happening. And then Sentinel-1, it has also two instruments, but this time two radar instruments, with the good thing about the radar instruments that irrespective of weather conditions or if it's day and night, you would always get information. And Sentinel-1 combines data about land and ocean imagery. So with this set of different satellites from the Copernicus family, you can come up with different applications. So now, Alexandra.
Now, I will try to share my screen.
Okay. Alexandra will detail now more about the applications. Yeah, I think it's...
Okay. So my name is Alexandra Almeida, and I work as Innovation Manager together with Francisca Iris at ISA Space Solutions Center Portugal, and managed by IPM. And many companies use these Earth observation data to power their business. And we will present you some examples. Aquafarm. Aquafarm is a project from Hidromod, and they use Sentinel-2 data together with in situ sensors to give information to the farmers about their crops. And DVI is one of the most known and used vegetation index, and the higher values will be related with healthy vegetations, and the lower values will represent stressed vegetation or even bare soil. Sagres is a project promoted by ISQ, and they pretend to support the decision to prospect for mineral deposits on the oceans for deep sea mining. In this case, they use Sentinel-1 and 3A to collect data about morphology, slope, or, for example, tectonic configuration. Tibel. Tibel is one of our incubators at ISABIC Portugal. ISABIC Portugal is an incubation program for startups that use space technology. In this case, CBEL support environmental legal cases, collecting data about industrial pollutions, illegal construction, for example, atmospheric pollution, and they give a report to the legal companies to support their own cases. Earth observation data can be used for several purposes, and health is one of them. This is a use case, not from the Portuguese ecosystem, but a good example of the kind of data that you can collect by Copernicus. This is a monitoring platform that maps the land and collects data about land surface temperature, water bodies, population distribution, and they use this data to give us a risk report of developing breeding seeds with high risk of malaria. SWARE. SWARE is a project from a consortium headed by Present Technologies. Well, the GNSS signal can be affected from various sources, including space weather, and they collect these space weather data to give us real-time alerts in case of GNSS discontinuities or space weather events. Well, this is an example a bit out of the scope, but I think this can give you perception about the power of Earth observation data. This is a use case about a well-known automotive manufacturing and a company on the field of financial services. This financial company monitored these manufacturing seats for a while when they discovered some change in the seat. They announced it for the investors, and they could invest in the company knowing already that a growing plan and new models would be launched soon. Well, we are talking about Earth observation data, but where we can find this data? Copernicus is a free service available for each one of you, for companies, individuals, or even research institutes. I will leave some links that you can explore, search on Google or contact us for more information. But the best part of it is that we also have some funding opportunities going on. Spark for Business is a funding opportunity for companies or research institutes that the available grant per project is about 25,000 euros, up to 50% of the total costs of the project. Some of the examples I gave you are funded through this scheme, as Sagres and SWARE. This project is mainly to determine the technical feasibility as well the economic viability of the project that use space technology applied to non-space markets. To submit your proposal, you can check all the information on our website, space.ipm.pt, and the deadline is the 22nd of April. But there are more opportunities for feasibilities and demonstration projects. If you want to explore it, just contact us. In the meanwhile, you can explore this website, business.isa.int, where you can find some thematic open calls for companies that use Earth observation data and other kind of space technology. Oh, my computer is alive as well. Well, as we told you before, I don't know what's going on. As we told you before, we also have an incubation program for startups with less than 5 years old that use space technologies to non-space markets. We support the startups with 50,000 euros and business and technical support for prototype development. We already support the 30 startups, and this year we will support more 12. The open call is not open yet, but we will open it soon, so stay tuned. I don't know what's going on with this computer, and that's it. There are a world full of space, a lot of examples and opportunities, but the time is short. So if you still have any questions, please contact us back. We post all our funding opportunities on our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and more recently on LinkedIn, so follow us.
Thanks very much, girls. That was a great presentation. If you all have any questions, just please contact us or Isa. We'll be happy to forward any of your queries for them. Thanks very much, and see you next webinar. Ciao.